Good morning. Students, faculty, parents, grandparents, Zoomers, and that one baby that won't stop crying, you know who you are. And if you don't, soon enough we will. Good morning. It's an honor to be standing here before you today. Before I get started, I want to thank the faculty and staff, along with my fellow classmates, for selecting me for this momentous occasion. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I also want to take the time to thank the many people who got me through my college years. Mom, Dad, thank you for your love and support over the many, many years. You constantly motivated me and believed in my dreams of attaining a baseball scholarship, even if that meant living in Weed, California for 2 years. I love you both. I quote Chris Farley from the beloved film Tommy Boy. You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years. And David Spade wittily replies, I know, they're called doctors. That is not the case for me. Sorry, Mom. When I told my parents the good news, my father asked me if I ever thought I'd give a commencement speech. I simply laughed and I said, no. My mother proceeded to ask me, have you given any thought about what you're going to talk about? You know, moms, they're just... And then it hit me. Fear and terror struck me to my very core because I had no clue what I was going to talk about in my speech. So I did what any great scholar would do, and I looked up on YouTube, commencement speech. That was a mistake. Who knew watching rich moguls such as Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Bill Nye, you know, the science guy, could motivate this young 23-year-old who just this year opened a savings account? My beginnings at Providence were that of struggle. I attended my first Bible class and experienced something that I've never really felt before: culture shock. Being surrounded by students who've come from Christian schools and have already had an extensive Bible knowledge, I felt almost inadequate. Growing up, going to a small Lutheran church, I've always identified myself as a Christian and felt the call to attend a Christian college. Coming to Providence, Dr. Swanson helped me realize my true spiritual weakness and the efforts I needed to take to strengthen my knowledge of Scripture. Thank you, Dr. Swanson. That first day in Swanson's Bible class, I realized that the Lord had his work cut out for me. If only then I knew when Dr. Swanson asks a question, there's a 95% chance that the answer is Jesus. One of the great aspects of attending Providence Christian College is fellowship. In my struggles, it was Jonathan Cruz who mentored and spent countless hours going over Bible lessons with me. Some of my favorite nights were spent watching films and playing board games with you and your wife, Evelyn, and the rest of the Providence community. Thank you for your fellowship. Professor Arms, thank you for the endless discussions revolving around the world of film and always motivating me to push the boundaries of my creativity. I couldn't have had a better professor to help me with my capstone project. Thank you for your fellowship. Coach Cody Walter, the past 2 years playing baseball for you has been a pleasure. Being a part of your first college win to clinching a playoff berth for the first time in school history, that was something I'll forever cherish. Always reminding us baseball players to be present and not to be too hot and too cold, but lukewarm. You probably tell me that I have no feel for doing this, but can I please get a 2 claps and a Ric Flair? Woo! Thank you for your fellowship. This past school year, I took on the role of a resident assistant here at Providence. The opportunity to serve the students here was an amazing experience, and I apologize if I talk too much on my night rounds. To resident life, Jen, Letty, Dahan, my fellow RAs, thank you for your constant support, prayers, and laughs. It was an honor to serve alongside you. Thank you for your fellowship. Dr. Chuck Ryer, my pastor, a mentor, and friend. You brought me into your church here at the chapel and your own home with open arms and truly cared for what I desired to do in life. I will miss our discussions and runs to get fast food right down the street, and you guilt-tripping me for getting a milkshake by saying, "Oh, to be young again." I and the Providence community miss you dearly. Thank you for your fellowship. To my fellow graduates, we made it. Take a moment and think about it. A year ago, we were at home, binge watching Netflix till our eyes bled, eating mom's leftover meatloaf. No offense, Mom. And wondering if we were ever going to set foot on Providence's campus again, whether we were ever going to see our friends again, play our favorite sports again, hear Paul talk about resurgam again. And a year that was full of doubt, Providence prevailed. You prevailed. I laugh because I felt like we just got here. That just yesterday, I was packed on a bus, heading out to Forest Home and meeting some of my best friends for the very first time. Nico Portillo, my roommate turned brother, thank you for always being there for me the past 2 years. I appreciate our deep talks of life and constant laughs. From battling each other in community college, in baseball, to battling for each other in college, it has been a great honor being your teammate and friend, even if you're a Los Angeles Dodgers fan. Padres in 4. Love you, brother. Aaron Gooch, thank you for your constant pushing of me to work harder in life and always being there for me. This year alone, we drank enough coffee to wake the living dead. I can't wait to be up there and support you on you and your fiance's big day. I love you, brother. What I'm going to miss most about Providence is the sincere sense of community established here on this campus. Not many college students in America have the privilege of saying they know the names of every single student on campus, let alone their own halls. It is with that small community you start to feel like you belong to something bigger than what's perceived. The amount of times I've seen the genuine hearts of this campus reach out and hug or comfort or even just pray for one another in times of need, I cannot count. You can't get that at many colleges. In my studies here at Providence, I was particularly intrigued in biblical discernment in films. I thought I'd share what I've learned with you by showing my discernment from one of my favorite films and one that I feel that fits this occasion, The Dead Poets Society. For those of you who have not seen this film, there's this famous Carpe Diem scene. Carpe Diem is Latin for seize the day. The teacher, Mr. Keaton, explains to his students as they stare into this trophy case filled with the pictures of past school alumni that they must seize the day and make their lives extraordinary. When we look in Scripture, James 4:14 says, "Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes." Mr. Keating simply says we should just seize the day because one day we will be worm food. As Christians, we should recognize we are more than that. There's more truth to life than just seizing the day. That as Christians, we should recognize the temporary nature of this life and ultimately God's providence of it all. We can seize the day, but we can't seize the day on our own. We can seize the day knowing that He is in control. As students, we are so concerned about the future and our careers, but those titles aren't as important as what happens to us spiritually in the production of these careers and aspirations. We must realize that we will fail, but what happens to us in the production of these careers are eternal. So it's not about the futility of our lives, unlike Mr. Keating suggests in Dead Poets Society, but the eternity of our lives, and that being what motivates us to seize the day and live extraordinary lives. So when you leave this campus, recognize, though you are leaving Providence, you are still in Providence. Thank you.